Asante sana mpenzi mtazamaji wa KTN News na kukaribisha kwenye matangazo maalum jioni hii ya leo. Hujambo na karibu, jina langu ni Mwalimu Franco Tieno, ambapo hii leo tuko katika shughuli maalum katika hoteli ya Sarova Stan katikati ya jiji la Nairobi, ambapo washikadau wa elimu wamekusanyika hapa kwa ajili ya hafla ya kuwatuza na kuwatunza na kuwatambua wale wanafunzi na walimu pamoja na washikadau wote katika shule ambazo zimeonyesha umahiri katika nyanja mbalimbali, hususan katika nyanja ya taaluma na vile vile masuala ya teknolojia na hisabati, masuala ya usafi na vile vile michezo na burudani na pamoja na security ama usalama. Ni shughuli ambayo imeandaliwa kwa mujibu wa ushirikiano wa shirika la The Standard Group chini ya uongozi wa afisa mkuu mtendaji Orlando Liomo, ambaye tayari ameshafika katika ukumbi huu, na vile vile kwa ushirikiano wa shirika la Global Peace Foundation pamoja na chama cha wamiliki wa shule za binafsi KIPSA na vile vile Semastia, ambayo ni Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology, ama kituo cha hisabati, sayansi, elimu na teknolojia. Kwa hivyo ningependa tu kuwapa dondoo ambazo tuko nazo hii leo. Basi nimtafute bwana Daniel Juma. Juma, njoo kidogo. Yeye ndiye mkurugenzi mkuu wa shirika hili la Global Peace Foundation. Bwana Juma, karibu sana kwenye matangazo yetu ya moja kwa moja KTN News. Tuelezee kwamba leo hii tunafanya nini hapa?
Leo tuko na celebration ya mashule zetu, ile tunaita kwa kimombo Great Places to School. Tumefanya hii for the first time, tulifanya 2019. We will be recognizing what we're calling great schools in Kenya. You know, these are schools that are excelling in different categories. We have another category in character and creativity, ingine talent, another one is the academic performance, so in 9 different categories. So these 2019 we awarded 24 schools. Today we're going to be awarding 11 schools, and out of these, the reason between today and 2019 is that 2019 most of them are private schools, lakini leo tunapata kwamba public schools pia wamejiunga na hii mashindano ya kurecognize great schools in Kenya.
Yeah. Bwana Juma, sijui ni mbinu zipi ambazo zilitumika katika kuzitambua hizi shule katika hafla hii ya kuzituza katika viwango mbalimbali?
Sasa tumekuwa tumepartner na Standard Group na Opinion Track na Kenya Private Schools Association and also Semastia. Sasa when we started advertising, so schools apply. Kusema kwamba sisi ni shule bora, sisi ni bingwa katika hii. Kama ni sports, sisi ni bingwa katika sports. Kama ni talent, sisi ni bingwa katika talent. Sasa washule wakisha apply, wanajinominate ama they become nominated. After they become nominated, and then we send verifiers to go and verify kwamba hii shule ilisema ni nzuri kwa talent, ni kweli ama si kweli. So hizo zilifanywa, na Opinion Track. And then after that, judges wakakaa chini, wakaangalia zile marks zimekuwa awarded, and then were able to award. So kwa leo hizo, hata mimi sijui ni shule gani iko katika bahasha ambayo inaitwa secret envelope, ambaye sasa chief judge ndiye atapeana wewe. Sasa nyinyi ndio mtafungua hizo envelopes na mjue ni shule gani ni bora katika hizo vifungo. Yes.
Asante. Basi mtazamaji, ndivyo hali ilivyo katika shughuli hii ya leo, ambapo Daniel Juma alivyodokeza ni kwamba washikadau wamefika hapa. Nimemwona dada Rosabella Ojiambo ambaye ni katibu katika shirika hili ama chama hiki cha wamiliki wa shule za binafsi. Rosabella, unataka kuongea na KTN News? Hebu njoo kidogo. Namuona hapa hivi. Hata tayari nilikuwa namuita, lakini kumbe njoo. Tuko hewani tayari. Dada Rosabella, kwanza hongera sana kwa uteuzi wako ama uchaguzi wako wa kuwa kiongozi ama katibu katika chama hiki. Sasa hii leo tuko hapa tunafanya nini?
Leo tumekuja kupatiana support kwa Great Places to Schools. Mashule yetu yamekaguliwa pamoja na yale ya kibinafsi na yale ya public. Sasa tunakuja kupewa awards na kupea watu motisha kufanya kazi kwa shule, ku make sure shule zetu ziko safe, shule zetu ziko na watoto wale wamefurahi, ndio ili tuepuke majanga mengi yale tumekuwa tukiona katika shule zetu.
Asante sana katibu wa KIPSA huyo Rosbelo Jambo, ambaye tutakuwa tunazungumza naye baadaye. Maana tuko na majopo mawili ambayo yatakuwa yanapambanua na kuvavadua masuala ambayo ni nyeti katika sekta ya elimu, na hivyo basi kumbuka kwamba afisa mkuu mtendaji Orlando Liomu yuko na hapa na atakuwa anajiunga na wanajopo wengine kwa ajili ya kuchanganua masuala ibuka katika sekta ya elimu. Na kumbuka vile vile Wizara ya Elimu imewakilishwa rasmi katika shughuli hii ya leo, na wizara hiyo imemtuma kama sijakosea, yupo bwana Paul Kibet ambaye ni mkurugenzi wa idara ya shule za sekondari katika Wizara ya Elimu. Yeye ndiye atakuwa anamwakilisha katibu katika wizara hiyo Daktari Julius Juan. Kwa hivyo tuna mengi ambayo tutakuletea. Tuko hapa na mwenzangu Trixingaro ambaye tutashirikiana naye hapa katika matangazo haya hii ya leo. Basi usiende mbali, kwa sababu hii leo tuko na shughuli maalum kwako wewe mzazi, mwalimu, mlezi na mwanafunzi. Jina langu ni Franco Tieno na kurejesha hadi studio kwa sasa.
That schools are facing in this country. Now, I'd like to recognize the presence of Paul Kibet, the Director of Secondary Education from the Ministry. Presence of Mr. Orlando Liomu, Group CEO of the Standard. Also, Mrs. Jacinta Elakata, who's the Director Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology, Education in Africa. Daniel Juma, Executive Director, Global Peace Foundation. He was just live on KTN News right now with my co-host this evening, Mwalimu Frank Otieno, who's approaching the podium right now. Also with us is Ms. Whitney Otieno, Assistant Program Manager. We have Mrs. Grace Ngugi, KICD Deputy Director, Mr. Kahi Indimuli, Kenya Secondary Schools Association, as well as Mrs. Betty Ocheng, Life and Executive Coach and CEO, Inspired Insights Africa. Now, without much further ado, I'd like to invite to the podium Paul Kibet, the Director, Secondary Education from the Ministry of Health, to give his keynote speech. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause.
LC, in partnership with Kenya Private Schools Association, KPSA, Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology Education in Africa, Semastia, and Opinion Track Limited will be hosting the second edition of the Great Places to School Awards Gala Dinner on the 3rd of December 2021 from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Sarova Stanley Hotel, Nairobi. You can be part of the awards gala dinner by taking a corporate table or paying for individual tickets or booking an exhibition booth. Kindly contact Maureen Kemunto on 0715497859 or Sami Karanja on 0721751548. For more information about the initiative, please visit our website www.greatplacestoschool.com. Great Places to School Initiative, where innovative learning is nurtured.
Foundation, in collaboration with Standard Group, Kenya Private Schools Association, Center for Mathematics and Science Technology in Africa, and Opinion Track. I also take this opportunity to recognize the Safaricom PLC and Moringa School, who have partnered with the organizers to make this event successful, and all the schools who participated in the noble initiative meant to improve quality learning in our schools. I have known Global Peace Foundation Kenya for a long time as an organization passionate about transforming education through programs such as Character and Creativity Initiative, live-ups in secondary schools. Their commitment to education as a tool for peace building demonstrates that education remains the most powerful weapon for sustainable peace and development. The Standard Group PLC, on its part, has spearheaded the newspaper in education program, which encourages reading culture amongst our students in schools. I'm grateful for their continued support of the education initiative, such as this one. I note that the first edition of the Great Place to School was held on 26 April 2019 at Safari Park, which saw 24 schools affected with in various categories. I would recommend this initiative as a public-private sector effort to recognize and enhance quality education in Kenya. The Ministry of Education, through the Directorate of Quality Assurance and Standards, has established quality standards in all basic training institutions, and efforts such as the Great Place to School is an innovative way to encourage our schools willingly to comply with such standards. Through the National Education Quality Assurance and Standards Framework for Basic Education, launched in 2019, the Ministry introduced for the first time institutional-based quality assurance to strengthen quality assurance at the school level. Through this framework, all schools are required to use school assessment tools to evaluate and judge the quality of their practices and impact on learners' outcomes. In this regard, the Ministry of Education will continue to collaborate with the private sector players, partners, who have demonstrated passion for transforming education for the sake of our children. I would like to call upon the organizers of the Great Place to School initiative to work closely with the Directorate of Quality Assurance to ensure that more schools comply with the laid down quality standards in the country. The world is ever changing, and as such, it's imperative for educators to remain up to speed, furnishing learners with relevant skills and knowledge to compete in life outside the classroom. Although the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Education and Government has remained steadfast in efforts to keep abreast with development. As you are all aware, in May 2019, the government launched the curriculum policy on which the competent-based curriculum was anchored. In this transition, in the education system since independence, is a gradual departure from the rigid and forgiving 844 system, which was hyped, focused on academics and examinations performance. It places emphasis on every learner's unique talent and ability to equip them with competencies they can effectively use to serve the modern society. It ensures learners acquire skills and knowledge and attitudes. That vision cannot only be left to government alone. It calls upon each one of us to play our part as parents and as educators to provide safe, positive, and inclusive, empowering environments for our youth to blossom. With this initiative, like the Great Place to School, non-state actors complement government's effort in advancing education. In the words of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, says this: we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. Therefore, on behalf of the Ministry of Education, I would like to convey sincere gratitude and encourage you to sustain your support as we work towards the goal of quality education. Lastly, let me take this opportunity to congratulate all the schools recognized in today's event for their efforts. I hope these awards serve as an encouragement to do better. However, I would also like to encourage those schools that were not recognized to feel the challenge, raise the standards, and participate in the future editions. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much for that speech, and that ushers us into the events of the night. We're going to have a panel discussion that's going to look into the ways of creating positive school environments that allow intellectual, personal, and interpersonal development of the students. Of course, we do know of the recent events in our schools in the country, and of course, it's only right that we sit down and discuss and figure out some of the best practices that can be implemented to ensure that we are achieving this. And I would like to invite to the podium Mr. Orlando Liomu, the Group Chief Executive Officer for the Standard Group PLC, as well as Ms. Whitney Otieno Ogutu, Assistant Program Manager, Moringa Schools. Lady and gent, please come to the podium so that we can begin our panel discussion. They shall be joined by Mwalingu Frank Otieno, who shall be conducting that panel discussion. Turn it on.
Karibu. Thank you. Yes, we are right now handling pertinent issues in this country that really have to be addressed very severely, because as we speak, we have got incidents of fire in the schools and so on. And that's why it gives me a lot of pleasure to be with this wonderful panel to talk about these issues as we dissect them properly. So maybe let me just begin with my boss, Mr. Orlando Liomu, maybe from your point of view as the CEO of a media house. We noticed that Standard Group has been so concerned about education issues in this country, and we really appreciate for that. Is it a CSR or it's a part of the business?
Thank you for the question, Frank.
Yes.
CSR is actually part of the business. Let me start by saying that.
Yes.
I don't think you can do business separate of CSR and vice versa. If you think of the concept of the triple bottom line, then you realize that CSR should not be a side conversation. It's part and parcel of how we conduct business. And businesses or organizations derive from the environment.
Yes.
They derive from the environment natural resources in some cases. They derive from the environment labor. They derive from the environment all sorts of support. And in the process, there are certain impacts that the environment will experience as a result of businesses operating. And therefore, if you want a sustainable environment, then CSR is not just about photo opportunities. It's not just about trying to look like you're doing good. It's about creating a sustainable ecosystem for the businesses to thrive in, but also for that environment that enables this business to thrive to not get depleted. So for us, CSR is actually part of the business, and we look at it two ways. One, how do we give back to the environment or to the society that sustains us? And two, how do we do it profitably?
Yes.
Because to be honest, you can't run a business without money.
True.
And therefore you cannot carry out CSR without a healthy body.
Without a healthy body. Thank you, Mr. Orlando Liomu. When I come to you, Madam Whitney Atieno Ogutu, when we talk of positive school environments to allow intellectual, personal, and interpersonal development of the students, what comes to your mind?
I'm actually glad you mentioned that right now the schools that are being banned, it's important for us to have a safe environment for the students. It's also important for us to support the students, for them to feel that they're supported in their learning environment and for them to be supported by all stakeholders. So it's not just parents supporting the students, it's the teachers, it's management, for us to reduce the number of cases that, or rather incidences whereby students are acting out. They must feel like they're heard, they must feel that, like they're respected, and if that does not happen, then they're going to act out. Yeah.
And today you're here, you're going to be fitted because you people have been seen to be very keen on certain aspects that have been recognized today, and we're going to see you people awarded. From Moringa, is it Moringa or Moringa?
Moringa.
Moringa, where's
Yeah.
Moringa School?
Moringa School is situated along Ngong Road. We're a Nairobi-based company, school.
So what are you bringing to this audience here about Moringa that somebody can emulate from even Tochirakum in Kadem or from Turkana and so on, so that really makes it worth emulating from you?
Okay, so Moringa School is a multidisciplinary learning accelerator, and we are mainly focused on ensuring that we equip youth with coding skills. So one thing that we thrive on is that our education is that of blended learning. So it means we've already, we are mainly tech and our education is digital. We ensure that our content is covered in a manner that it is student-centered. So we provide content for our students, they internalize it, and then we have an instructor that takes them through the content. Yeah.
Now, Mr. Kimani, maybe I should give you this opportunity to introduce yourself and tell us exactly where you're coming from and what do you have for us today, this evening.
Thank you so much. Point of correction, my name is Paul Kibet.
Oh, Paul, sorry. Oh my God, sorry. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Paul Kibet, the Director, Secretary Schools, Ministry of Education. I'm very sorry about that. You know, when I met you, you were in a mask. So right now, I'm a mask. So, yes, Mr. Kibet, go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. I think for me, when I was requested to be in this function,
yes,
we were talking about great schools. And we need to be asking ourselves, what are the characteristics that make a great school?
Yes.
And definitely, I think we are talking about a school that attracts, a school that has a name, a school that has, I would say, characteristics of performance.
Yes.
So that's basically what I would say that we need to look forward, look out for such characteristics in our schools. Of course, as you had alluded in your introduction,
yes,
it's unfortunate that we have cases of unrest
yes,
in our schools. And without having to belittle what's happening, I would like us to notice that, take note that we are dealing with basically boarding schools. And in Kenya, it's about a quarter of the schools that have issues. And I think we need to look back, and it's a complex issue. We would say that, just like research has pointed out, that learners in schools, about almost 60% of them will confide in their parents. And therefore, I think some of the solutions that we need to be looking for is asking the parents, what is it that the students are saying? So those are some of the messages that we're able to get when we interrogate the students.
Mr. Kibet, before I forget, I think I'm very keen to pick your mind on this issue. Now that you come from Jogo House, and I should be able to take this back to the bosses there.